talk about a word that is dear to me, and I see it so much in the body of Christ. A lot of people never reach their full potential. They never reach what God intended them to be because of the battles they fight. And I just come to let you know, as your pastor, if you're visiting, I'm coming to you just as a pastor. But in some of y'all, I'm coming to you as your pastor. I want to say to you that the battle reveals the blessing. The battle reveals the blessing. There's a lot of us that are being fought in different ways. But I dare you to change your mindset, the way you think. Why is this a battle in your life? Why the devil fighting you in this area so much? Why is he fighting this person in this area so much? I want to teach you. And I want to take my time. The battle reveals the blessing. Genesis 32, and we're going to start at verse 24. And we're talking about Jacob. And I want to narrow in on this part. I want to narrow in on this part, and then we're going to fall back, and I want to let you know why we're here. You'll get it in a minute. Verse 30, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestling with him. Let me start over. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. Verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him. Verse 26. And he said, let me go. Now, this a proclaimer. Some say it was the Lord. Some say it was an angel. I don't know. The Bible don't tell me. So I'm going to leave it right there. But we know it was an angelic host. We know it was a host of heaven. And he said, let me go, for day breaketh. And he said, I will not. Jacob said, I will not let you go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? The angelic host said, what's your name? And he said, Jacob. Verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince, thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? I dare you ask me my name. And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Have you ever thought about this? Now I want you to put your thinking caps on. Have you ever thought about this? The area where the enemy fights you the hardest is often the area where God intends to bless you the greatest. Have you ever pondered that? The enemy don't waste his strongest attacks on people who pose no threats. The devil don't wasting time on people that don't pose no threats. That's why they can do what they want to do, and you see them prospering and everything. There's no threat. But when you do it, you don't get the same results they got. The enemy targets what God has destined to produce purpose, influence, and victory. Devil ain't finna waste his time on people that he already got. He with me. She not. Let me fight them. So many believers ask, why fight so much in this one area of my life? Why is this one area of my life always under attack? Why my finances always under attack? Why my family is always under attack? Why my peace is always challenged? Why do I keep fighting in my mind? Why does I have all these thoughts? Why am I fighting in my mind? Why am I constantly hearing these voices in my mind? Why does my ministry face so many oppositions? Why? Many of us, if the truth be told, we have a lot of whys. Have you ever pondered why? The answer may be that. The answer just might be that. The fight is revealing the value of what God has placed inside you. The level of attack is an insight of the value of what's in you. So I'm telling you, church, Connection Church, it ain't time to crumble. It ain't time to throw in the towel. It's time to fight. It's time to fight. The enemy will attack your assignment. He can't stop God's plan in your life. So what he do, he discourages you so much till he makes you stop it. The devil don't have enough power to stop what God has put in motion. But us, we're free will beings. He made us free will. He don't make us do anything. So the devil can't stop what God is doing. Only you can stop. So he will discourage you so much. He will fight you so much in this particular area that you will just give up. And we got a lot of people in the body of Christ. You come to church, but we know you're giving up. We thank you for coming. You keep coming, but really, you're giving up. Your assignment is wide open. You got people doing your assignment. They're just trying to fill in the gap to help. But it's not really for them to do. But because you're out of place. Because of the battles you're fighting. We have to fill in the gap. So look, Jacob, his story begins when he was born. The enemy was fighting him from the day he was in his mama's belly. Genesis 25 and 22. The babies. Oh, I got the NIV version. I'm sorry. But that's okay. They can follow with the King James. Genesis 25, and we're going to start at verse 22. The babies jostled. But King James version said struggled. Each other within her. I can read this. Come on, I'll pick this up. The babies, you fast. Ooh, that boy good. He good right now. He good. And the baby jostled each other within her. And she said, why is this happening to me? It's twins in her. And they wrestling against one another. They fighting against one another. And can you imagine what her body's going through? Can you imagine the pain? Can you imagine the unrest? Can you imagine what's going on in her body? That they fighting against each other. There was no good doctor. There was no medicine back then. So what she did, she sought the Lord. So she went to inquire of the Lord. Verse 23, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are inside your womb. And 2 people from within you will be separate. They twins, but they separate. There's 2 nations. Each represents another nation. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. So the twins struggled together inside Rebekah's womb. They're fighting inside the womb. They're struggling. So from day one, Jacob came into the world wrestling, fighting for his life. He was fighting from inside the womb. Some of y'all been fighting since you was a baby. Some of y'all, the devil got into some wicked people, some evil people to turn your destiny around. Some of us are a result. We never got healed from that childhood trauma. So now we're still walking with that trauma. You've been fighting since you was a child. Before Jacob ever seen the light of day, there was already conflict. There was already conflict in your life before you could say goo goo gaga. Before you understood what yes mean and what no mean, you was already having conflict in your life. You ever ask why? Why my mama didn't want me? Why my daddy didn't want me? Why? Why? Why God allowed this to happen to me? Why? It was 2 nations was in the womb. And it wasn't sibling rivalry. It was, no, it wasn't that. It represented 2 kingdoms, 2 destinies, 2 futures. And there would always be wrestling when it comes to your destiny. That's why the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. So as long as you're fighting, as long as you're going to step into your assignment, as long as you're going to walk into your destiny, you're going to wrestle. There's no option. You're going to wrestle. Now, whether you choose to wrestle or not, you're going to wrestle, or maybe you're going to get wrestled against. It's up to you whether you fight back, but you will get wrestled against. Because you don't pick a side, don't mean you're not going to get picked on. You can straddle the fence all you want to, but it's still coming. So why not fight back? Why not wrestle back? You're going to pick a side. So, because you're neutral, you're still going to have to fight. I lay there and just take it. And what I see in the body of Christ, a lot of us just laying there and taking it. What kind of spirit is that you lay there and just take it? You never fought that thing that was wrestling against you. Now your children is wrestling with the same thing you wrestle with, and now your grandchildren is wrestling with the same thing because you never fought back. Because you never fought back. This thing is so spiritual. I didn't know my daddy. He was not in my life. But when I did find him, I ended up knowing my life was going the same way his life was. I didn't even know him. I was almost just like him. It's like, my God. And I didn't even know his whole story, but I was ended up just like, and I didn't know him. Sometimes your battle isn't because you've done something wrong. Jacob ain't did nothing wrong, but he was just born. He didn't do nothing wrong. You ain't did nothing wrong because you're wrestling. This is what we do. This is life. Either you lay down or you fight. He didn't do nothing wrong. But the enemy seen that there's something in him. There's something being birthed into the world. So it ain't that you did something wrong. It's because you're carrying something that heaven heaven intends to use. Whatever that thing is in you, heaven intends to use that for his glory. And that thing that is in you is going to draw other people and give God more glory. And because you led them, they're going to give God glory. There's a domino effect, and the enemy has detected that. I tell you what then, let me get inside Uncle Joe. And let me let Uncle Joe, let me let Uncle Joe touch her. So since Uncle Joe touched her and she never got delivered, now she don't want a man, she want women. And the baby that she's supposed to birth out, supposed to lead thousands to God. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't lay there. That wasn't God, that the devil got into Uncle Joe. Listen to me. So the enemy will attack your identity. He's going to always come there first. That's why you look at the way the world is now. You all right if you let your child choose what he want to be. We thank you for you're just so open and you understand, you know. That's okay. But the minute you stand up and say, I want my son to be able to pray when he wants to. Oh, Dad, you can't do that. No. Well, he pray, everybody else get to pray and everything else. But they're okay with certain things. So what the enemy does, he attack your identity. Jacob's name means supplanter, a heel grabber. Jacob was a schemer. He was a deceiver. Listen, he was the younger brother. The blessing supposed to went to Esau, his elder brother. So guess what Jacob did? Jacob and his mama, they schemed together. So listen, I'm talking about parents, you need to get delivered. Because that stuff will fall on your kids. His mama devised a plan because the dad Isaac was blind. He was dim in his eye. He was blind. He couldn't see no more. He was old, but he knew he had to leave a blessing on his older son, which was Esau. But Esau was hairy. Jacob was smooth skinned. So the mama said, no, that's okay. You gonna get the blessing. Esau not gonna get the blessing. So what his mama did, they devised a plan. They said, we're going to cut the skin off some animals, and we're going to put it on your neck and on your back. So when your daddy, Isaac, feel you, he's going to think you Esau. Scheming. And call it God. Lying. Look how God blessed me. God didn't bless you. You did that. You schemed, lied, stole, and everything else. They want to say somebody is God. He got the blessing by deceiving and scheming his daddy. And when his brother found out, his brother wanted to kill him because his brother was a hunter. His brother was a man of hunt. He was a hunter. And Jacob was scared of his brother. So his brother wanted to kill him, but it was too late. He got the blessing. So Jacob fled. But when he fled and ended up at Laban's house. Laban. And there he seen this beautiful girl named Rachel. She was beautiful. So he went to micing to her. He went to talking to her. He told her daddy. He said, I want her. He said, you can get it, but you got to work for her. I forgot everything about 15 years he had to work for her. But at the end of those years, when it was time to reap his reward, the daddy put the scheme on him. The daddy gave him Leah. He reaped what he sowed. Rachel was beautiful. The Bible says, go back and read. The Bible says Leah was tender-eyed. I mean, both her eyes were looking at her nose. But she's looking at you. This is the Bible now. I ain't talking about nobody. It's the Bible. I'm talking about the Bible. Now, the Bible says she was tender-eyed. Go look that up. Study that. But the daddy said, I know what I told you, but she's the older daughter. So we got her. They said, if you want Rachel, you got to work another. Was it 7 years? So he had to work another 7 years for the one he wanted. Then after that, Laban began to change his salary. We get paid 1 week, we get paid this. You get paid 1 week. So he had been wrestling all his life. He wrestled with Esau. He wrestled with his daddy. He's scheming with Laban, his father-in-law, and he struggled with himself. Yet, now look at this now. Yet, every struggle moved him closer to God. Every struggle moved him closer to God. The enemy wanted Jacob to remain Jacob. He wanted him to remain Jacob. Don't change. Stay who you are. This is who you always been. This is who you are. This is the way God made you, liar. God intended him to become Israel. God's plan was for him to become Israel. But the devil's plan is for you to remain Jacob. Remain the liar. Remain the schemer. Remain the trickster. Remain that way. Remain that way. This is what the enemy wants you to do. And a lot of y'all have justified what the enemy intends. Yeah. I'm justified because my husband beats me. I'm justified because what I went through as a child. I'm justified because no one loves me. I'm justified because she's sick and that's it. I'm justified because, no, you're not. I explained to you, whether you struggle on the fence, whether you lukewarm or hot, you're gonna wrestle. It doesn't matter. You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight. So the devil will attack your identity because he fears your destiny. Your greatest battle comes right before your greatest breakthrough. Now we start the story here. Now Jacob is by himself. His brother is coming. He done schemed his brother out of the blessing. And his brother upset. And now his brother coming, but not just coming, but got 400 men. In Genesis 32, he got 400 men coming to meet Jacob. Now what Jacob does, Jacob sends his family, all his children, his wives, he sends them on the other side of the brook. So Jacob alone right now, scared, terrified. Because what? Because he assumed war is coming. But instead, God interrupts Jacob right before Esau arrives. Everything suggests disaster. I'm going to meet my brother, and I'm going to try to scheme my way. At first, I'm going to try to give him all this stuff. I'm going to try to do all this stuff. I'm going to try to do this. He had a plan. He was Jacob. He was still trying to scheme. Yet that night, God met Jacob. Notice something, y'all. Notice this. Before Jacob met Esau, he had to meet God first. His family's gone. He's by himself. And right there by himself, he meets God or an angel or an angelic host. I believe it was the Lord, but the Bible don't say. Not family. First thing we go through, the first time trouble hit, we want to call family. We want to call somebody that we think know God more than us. We want to call family. We want to call friends. Or we want to go back to our old way of scheming. Well, if I just do this and do this, man, you don't have to do this. No. Sometimes God will allow the pressure to separate you. So he can transform you. He allows the pressure to separate you. And by yourself, he will begin to transform you. Because now he got you to himself. Now all the noise is silent. Now your way ain't gonna get you out of this. So now he wanna transform. Your wrestling will produce the blessing. So God meets us at the level he finds us. God meets you right where you at. It ain't nothing you gotta do. It ain't nothing you gotta. God will meet you right where you at. To Abraham, he said, well, Abraham, go, and I'll let you. Picture this, to my faith. Leave your kinsmen, leave everybody, leave them, and go. And I'll tell you when you get there. I'll tell you, you'll know you're there when I tell you. I'll tell you when you get there. Why Abraham, the pilgrim, the Lord appeared to him as a traveler. While he's on his journey, the Lord appeared to him as a traveler. Joshua, the general. Joshua was a bad boy. Joshua cut your head off. To Joshua, the Lord appeared to him as a soldier. That's why Joshua said, are you with us or against us? He's going to try to chop the angel head off, or the Lord's head off. He didn't play. But listen, for him to do that, the Lord came to him where he was. Joshua was a soldier. So the Lord came to him as a soldier. And Joshua said, are you with us or against us? Because I don't know you. You about to die. And to Jacob, spent most of his life wrestling. Most of his life wrestling with himself, wrestling with his parents, wrestling with his brothers, wrestling with his father-in-law. He wrestled in his mother's stomach. He wrestled. He spent his whole life wrestling. So God appeared to him as a wrestler. He wrestled. He wrestled all night. So that the angelic host knew how to wrestle. He knew he was coming to a wrestler. But that thing, you can want deliverance so bad from that thing. Then look at here. God will give you supernatural strength. You gotta want to fight this thing. He was so under pressure. He so wanted help from the Lord. He wrestled all night. He wrestled all night. Not because God wanted to destroy him. He wrestled because God wanted to change him. You got to allow God to change you. You got to wrestle with yourself. You got to know who you are ain't who God intended you to be. And you got to begin to wrestle with yourself. Wrestle with your thinking. Wrestle with your logic. Wrestle with your mindset. Wrestle. Is this person I'm connected to, is even going where I'm going? Wrestle with it. So at some point, we got to face ourselves. Verse 27. Verse 27. Go back to the main verse. Verse 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? What is thy name? The Lord or the angel said, what is thy name? And the last time Jacob was asked that question, the last time he was asked that question was by his father. Who is this? Who? It's Esau, Daddy. He lied. The last time he was asked that question. So listen. Jacob had a reputation of being a schemer, a deceiver. So the angel wanted to know, the angelic host wanted to know, is your wrestling in vain? All this wrestling, what is thy name? What is your name? Are you going to keep living the way you're living? Are you going to keep going the way you're going? It ain't working. Try something else. It ain't. Are you going to keep doing what you're doing? Or are you going to go through life still scheming, lying, deceiving? Are you going to go through life still struggling, still doing the things you've been doing, still fighting the same thing? Now you got your children fighting your demons, and now you got, and you're going to, what is your name? What is your name? Are you going to admit where you are and let me change you? So the angelic host touched his hip. It touched it. It touched it, and the Bible says it came out of joint. Listen, that night, his walk was never the same. I can remember to the day that my walk was never the same. I would not be a drug addict. I would not be an absent father. I would not be a womanizer. I remember that when my walk changed. I remember when my walk changed. That night, because he wrestled, his walk changed forever. And sometimes God allow us to limp. God will allow you to limp so you can lean. And a lot of y'all are scared to limp because you know you don't have to lean on God. And you're so self-independent that God has no room in your life because you can scheme and deceive so bad you don't even think you need God. You got us thinking you got it all together, but we know you don't. So he touched his thigh. His walk never was the same after that. Your weakness must become God's place of strength. Your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12. This Paul. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, 3 times, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. The glory of God is revealed in my weakness. I know I can't get over this without God. But look at the way it made me look to other people. That's your problem. That's your problem. And it's sad that you care about what people think more than what God thinks. So now, God can't get the glory out your life. And one verse, God said, I hate. He said, I hate it. He said, I hate a proud look. You look like you don't need me. And you got people thinking that you really don't need me. And you got people thinking that you all that. And instead of coming to me, they're coming to you. See, I hate it. Joseph, he fought with betrayal. He fought slavery, false accusations. This man did nothing. He fought prison. Why? Because God intended to preserve a nation. God wanted to preserve a nation. So he went through all that. If Satan had known Joseph was going to save Egypt, he would have fought him even harder. He fought him. He knew something. He fought him. Well, he would have fought him harder. Moses, the enemy tried to kill him as a baby. Why? Because he would deliver Israel. The attack revealed the assignments. David, before the throne, there was Goliath. Before the crown, there was Saul. Before the palace, he was in caves, dwelling in caves before the palace. Why? Because when you get there, I don't need you acting up. I got to give you the right character to be in position for what I need, where I need you to be at. The battle prepared him for the blessing. And I got one more person. My Lord and Jesus. Satan tempted him immediately after baptism. Immediately after baptism. Why? Because his public ministry was about to begin. Every level of blessing attracts another level of opposition. The Bible says he was led up of the wilderness, to the wilderness, by the Spirit. I ask you this question again. Have you ever pondered? Have you ever wondered why you fight in certain areas of your life? You ever wonder why he fight me so much in this area? Why I fight so much in insecurity? Why? Why I fight so much? Why I fight so much in this area? Why I fight so much in my mind? Why I fight so much with isolation? Why do I isolate? Why you ever thought about that? It's revealing something to you. Now, whatever you're fighting, ponder on that. What the enemy fight reveals your calling. It just may reveal your calling. If he fights your marriage, God is going to use your marriage to bless others. I can testify. I can testify. The roughest thing I ever been through was in my marriage. And I'm like, Lord, right before we started the ministry, the devil came, had it hard. But he didn't know. He had a plan, but it didn't work. Right before we started our public ministry, he came because he knew. He knew we was going to bless other marriages. He knew that. I had a guy call me this weekend. I need help with my marriage. He knew that. So, me and my wife and I, we wrestled. We wrestled against our emotions, our feelings, what we going through. We wrestled. Your children, if he keep finding you with your children, I mean, God got purpose on their life. And a lot of times, what's in your children is going to be greater than what was in you. And a lot of times, what's in your children is because you didn't do it. And God got them, they going to do it now. And the devil fights them. Well, you got to be careful how you treat your kids. I know they acting up. I know you got to have rules. But you got to be careful. What you speak, what you say out your mouth, don't speak over their life. Don't speak that negative stuff over their life. I know they acting like a hellion. But could you come here, you little angel Johnny? Let it stay in your mind, but don't say it. I know what you want to say. And it's hard not to say it. I'm telling you, I'm there. I've been there. But you got to keep speaking positive over their life. Did you ever find your finances? Why? Perhaps God's plan is to make you a kingdom resource. That's one of the areas the devil fought me with. Years. He fought. I was sharing with Elder Corey how I just don't like Orlando because Orlando reminds me of poverty. Because every time we went to Orlando, I had children, but we didn't have no money. So we had to do them 90-minute presentations. And then we had to live off McDonald's because back then they had the $1 million. That's over. Them days gone. You ain't gonna get no dollar fry or dollar double cheeseburger. No. Them days over. But that's what we had to do. And I can remember just trying to make ends meet and me not eating, my wife not eating, just to make sure they have a good time. That's why you keep blaming your parents, but your greatest moments was their greatest trials. You can look back on that picture and you can say on that picture, that was one of my happiest moments in my childhood life. But ask your parents, that could have been one of their worst. But they sacrificed to make sure you had a good time. And you got a nerve to be acting like they did this and they did that. Yeah, they weren't perfect. But they made sure your little nappy head self had a good time. The devil fought me in my finances because he understood this. That was going to be a resource for the kingdom. I am a giver in every sense of the word. My wife is a giver in every sense of the word. We was discussing this morning. I said we need to find our church who we're going to sow into. Because I understood, because he fought me so much, and because he fought me, I was reluctant to give. But I didn't understand giving was my way out. Giving was my way out. Not my circumstance, not what I'm looking at, but just give. I know it's due, but just give. Just give. I ain't talking about tithe and offer. I'm talking about offering. Tithe belong to God. It ain't about your tithe no more. It's about your offering. That's what's tied to your heart, your offering. If you're going to talk about it now. We ain't going to talk about it. Because y'all know, y'all think every preach about money. And we ain't like that in this house. But he fought me in my finances. He fought me in my giving. And so sometimes he used to fight me so bad, man, I used to get in line, and I see somebody in line, I just pay for it. My wife be like, what happened to the line? I pay for somebody. I know. She like the Pastor Harry, you see now, she wasn't like that back then. She was just like, well, I get it. Okay. That's how she was back then. If she was mad, I never knew it, but yeah, she was real nice back then. She's nice now though, but she's nice now. But I didn't know that God was making me a kingdom resource. That I could be able to give to people and I can help people. And I want to be I told Lord, I said, Lord, I want to be a dream maker. I want to be able to make people's dreams come true. I want you to use me like that. You can't pray prayers like that if you're not a giver. No. But when I understood why he was fighting my finances, why he was fighting me like that, I understood that. I had to get over a hump. It was a hump I had to get over. I had to get over me. I had to get over trying to think about going back to that poverty moment. Man, just not having enough. My God, that's a horrible feeling. That's a horrible feeling, y'all. Your peace. If the enemy's coming at your peace, God just might be calling you to encourage broken people. If you ain't got no peace, when you go home, and you know it ain't going to be no peace. You know there's going to be some hell raising in that house. You know it. God just might be calling you to broken people. If God coming at your ministry, God just might telling you there's some lives that you need to be encouraging. There's some lives you need to be changing. Lives are waiting on your obedience. There's people that are waiting on your obedience. There's people in sin right now. There's people that stuck. There's people in prisons. There's people stuck out there on Skid Row waiting on your obedience. But because God ain't give you the house, you ain't moved. Because God ain't healed me. Because God ain't did this. Because God still ain't gave me the job. Because God did. You ain't doing nothing. Jacob said, I'm not going to let you go till you bless me. That's determination. Too many believers release God. They turn away, they walk away from God before the day breaketh. The angelic host said, the host of heaven said, let me go, day breaketh. My God. I mean, he said, well, you said is this a human? Sometimes you got to get desperate for your blessing. When you tired, see, a lot of us ain't never getting tired enough. I was tired. Elder Corey, Pastor Bacon will tell you, out there, man, look at here. It was some rough nights. I mean, nights. I was tired. We was like Jacob. I ain't letting you know. I ain't letting you go until you bless me. the angelic host said, what's your name? He said, well, what's your name? Look here. We ain't going nowhere. This ain't gonna cease. I ain't letting you go. You can let me go, but I ain't letting you go. Breakthroughs often comes just before the dawn of day. Don't quit in the middle of the fight. Your breakthrough is right around the corner. Day breaketh. It's coming. The longest night still ends with a sunrise. Your longest night still is going to end with a sunrise. I'm closing. The scar becomes your testimony. Hey, y'all be safe in Orlando. They try to creep out of here. Y'all be safe. They had to tell Orlando, y'all. Y'all be safe in Jesus' name. Your scar become your testimony. Jacob walked differently afterwards. His limp reminded him that God had changed him. It's always a reminder that God has changed you. Most times your greatest testimony comes from your deepest wound. Your deepest wound. Your greatest testimony comes from that very scar you hated. That very situation that you hated. That poverty that I hated. I hated. Now that's my biggest testimony. And I'm reminded, my scar reminds me of where God's brought me. See, when you're reminded, pride won't creep in. Amen. I'm reminded that I'm just one step away of going back to there. Woo. So because of my limp, I lean on God. God, what you want me to do? I don't understand. Lord, Jesus, which way you want me to go? Your battle is not proof that God has abandoned you. It's proof that heaven has marked you for a blessing. Yeah. When you begin to look at what you're going through differently, you begin to walk differently. When you begin to understand differently, you begin to think differently. Don't look at it as, don't look at the thing as if heaven has abandoned you. Look at it as you marked. You are marked for the blessing. The enemy doesn't attack empty fields. He attack fruitful ones. He don't break into empty houses. Amen. He ain't gonna break into empty houses. He breaking houses that's valuable. He don't attack people with no purpose. He attack people that's carrying, they're carrying something inside of them. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people. You got to be careful because they're going through 9. They're going to be the same people that help you get through when you go through. You can't look at where people are at right now. So, if you've been fighting, don't lose heart. Come on, babe. Come on. You cut the music up a little bit. I'm closing. If you've been fighting, don't lose heart. If you've been crying, don't stop praying. If you've been in tight, don't abandon your assignment. Don't abandon your assignment. Your assignment is greater than the attack. You're going through a night season. The Bible said we may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Your night will end with a sunrise. Trust me. It ain't going to last always. But you got a part in this. You can't straddle the fence. Pick a side and die on that hill. Because whether you pick a side or not, you're going to wrestle. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay, I'm not wrestling against my sister. I'm wrestling against the spirit that's using my sister. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against what? Principalities, powers, rulers of darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. You gonna wrestle. You gonna wrestle. You gonna fight. Y'all stand up on your feet. But how many of y'all rather fight with God on my side? How many of y'all understand that the fighting that I'm fighting is because I'm carrying something? Yes. And I want to talk about there's some birthing finna take place. And before anything can be birthed, there got to be a breaking. Listen. A lot of you is carrying something. But a lot of us is quitting in the middle of the fight. A lot of us is quitting in the middle of the fight. And I'm here to tell you as your pastor, if you're a visitor, I'm here to tell you as a visitor, as a pastor, don't quit in the middle of the fight. It's evidence that you're carrying something. It's evidence of the blessing that God's going to reveal in your life. It's evidence. Trust me, it's evidence. Come on, give God a hand, pray.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information about our service time, about us, you can go to connectionchurchinternational.org. Or you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel.
Amen. So let's stay connected.